So you're thinking about moving to Austin and looking for an area with history, character, and awesome access. There's several top-notch neighborhoods, and today we are going to be talking about the Rosedale neighborhood nestled right in the middle of central Austin. This is Daphne Quay, your boss lady realtor here in Austin, Texas. If this is your first time on this channel and you want to learn everything about living, working, eating, breathing, sleeping, playing in the ATX, make sure to click that subscribe button and click on the notifications button so you get notified every time that we have a new video. We get calls, texts, emails every day from folks just like you who are thinking about relocating, and I super love it. If you're thinking about relocating anywhere in the Austin Metro or Central Texas, make sure to give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, Instagram, DM, whatever works. If you're moving to Austin, I got you. Rosedale is located right in the middle of Austin, right between Mopac Expressway and IH-35. It is just north of downtown and UT campus. I would say probably about 5 minutes. It's very centrally located. Here's kind of a fun fact. The entire Rosedale neighborhood used to be a peach tree orchard in the late 1800s. Eventually that land became, it became land for a plant nursery that was run by a family that had 13 children, and the children would work in the family business kind of on and off. It was handed down to a couple of generations who also tended to the family business, and it was eventually subdivided in the 1930s and 40s when most of the homes that are there now were built. The family who owned the land for the peach tree orchard was the Ramsey family. The main park in Rosedale is Ramsey Park with several wonderful parky amenities. They've got a pool, and then they've got access to miles of hiking, walking, biking, and biking trails. I think pretty much any resident will tell you that it is an extremely walkable neighborhood. It's close to a ton of restaurants, lots of coffee shops, it's got parks. You definitely do need a car to survive in Texas, but if you live in this neighborhood, it's easier to not have one, and it is easier to move around on foot or on a bike. Like I mentioned before, there are a lot of restaurants, a lot of independently owned restaurants. There's a good variety of like vegan, vegetarian restaurants, lots of food trucks, food eat type places. There's a lot of like modern fusion cuisine, like modern Japanese food. So there really is something for everyone. If you like more out-of-the-box coffee shops, places where you can just sit and chill and have kind of a quirky, funky, earthy vibe, there's several really great coffee shops for that as well. So let me tell you a little bit about the homes in Rosedale. Like I mentioned earlier, the land was subdivided in the 1930s and 40s, right before and then right after the war. There are a lot of little bungalow type homes that are super adorable. They have a lot of character and just a lot of like texture and history to them. Because Rosedale is so centrally located and in such just like a wonderful area, there has been a ton of new construction going on there. So it's pretty common to see like these little tiny bungalows next to a big modern home. What's really popular right now, kind of especially in that area, are the like the Texas barn, like the modern barn style homes where it's very clean lines, typically white or light gray with like wood accents. Very, very pretty. Price ranges in Rosedale can be, I've seen kind of like $550 up into the millions. There's a home that I saw there recently, brand new home. It's 3,500 square feet, so it's big. And asking for that was 1.6, almost 1.7 million. So there's quite a range of, number one, styles, sizes, and price ranges. So another thing that I think is a pro is that the location it's wonderful. It's so centrally located. It's really cool because the older portions of it give it kind of this historic feel, a little bit of an established neighborhood. However, you're right in the middle of town, so it's not like you're like way out in the farm somewhere. Like I mentioned, it's very walkable and it's got really good access. So it's very cozy, very welcoming, and then super close to everything because it is between our two main highways, IH-35 and then Mopac Expressway. We just call it Mopac, and 35 we just call 35. But yeah, and then it's got the bottom of the neighborhood goes to 35th Street, which goes east and west, and that'll take you directly to the highways as well. For me, location is really big. It's very nicely located right there in the middle. So like I mentioned earlier, Rosedale is an expensive place to live. Home prices are pretty high. They can range anywhere from like the 550s up until the millions. So along with high home values, you also have high property taxes. I've mentioned this in other videos before, but Texas has some of the highest property taxes in the country. The tax rate in Rosedale is 2.14% of the tax assessed value. So let's say you have a home, for instance, that is priced at $775. Your tax rate is about 2.1%, 2.2% based on the assessed value. Property taxes there are probably going to be anywhere between like $12,000 to $14,000. Again, really depends on what the assessed value is and how much that goes up every year. Another negative about Rosedale, and it's not even necessarily specific to Rosedale, I would just say Texas in general, is that our summers are so hot. Our heat is aggressive, it is offensive, it is out to get you and everybody else. So just know, if you are here in the summertime, which basically starts June to like late September, so about four and a half months out of the year, it gets really hot. It's not uncommon to see temperatures go into the low hundreds, so like 105. There were a couple summers where we were like at 110, 112. I think it was like 30 days in a row. That was rough. That's rare, but it does happen. So just know, like the hottest time of the day is usually between 1 to about 5 in the afternoon. And I think a lot of folks tend to stay inside during that time just because the sun is beating down so hard. Other than that, the heat is pretty manageable, I think. You can still drive your car, you can still walk around. I mean, you don't have to stay in your house and hide from it forever. The rest of the year is wonderful here. Winters don't really get that cold. The coldest I think they get is about 35, 40 degrees. And that's probably 8 months out of the year. Very worthwhile. Our weather is perfect otherwise. Another con, I feel like I'm being really negative. I don't typically like to talk about things I don't like, but you need to know if you're thinking about moving to these areas. But another con, which is not necessarily specific to Rosedale, just central Austin in general, is that it has a lot of traffic. If you are trying to get like in and out of the neighborhood, there are a lot of little side streets and they just tend to get really congested. Of course, especially during rush hour in the morning or in the evening, less so now with COVID, but usually when we're like normal times, traffic is pretty bumper to bumper. But that's true pretty much anywhere in Austin. However, it's not nearly as bad as it is in other parts of the country, like nothing compared to California, for instance. And since Rosedale is very, I think, walker friendly, if you need to run over to like a corner store or something and get something, that's totally possible there too. So I hope this video has helped answer some of your questions and giving you more history and information about the Rosedale neighborhood. Like I mentioned, I'm a local realtor here in Austin, Texas, and I do tons of videos similar to this one, along with more information about this super fun, quirky city. If you're even thinking about moving to the Austin area, make sure to give me a call, send me a text, shoot me an email, send me an Instagram DM, like literally whatever works. I got you. If this is your first time on the channel and you want to learn everything about living, working, eating, breathing, sleeping, and playing in the ATX, then click on that notification button so you get notified every time we have a new video. We get calls, texts, and emails every day from folks just like you who are thinking about relocating to Austin. Anyway, I'm super excited to hear from you.